My colleague and senior editor Uday Pratap Singh has spoken to William Marks, Executive Fellow at Harvard Business School, about the India-US trade deal, AI cooperation between both countries, and the impact of AI on economy and jobs. All this and more at the Raisina Dialogue being held in India's capital, New Delhi. Take a look.
Well, on the sidelines of Raisina Dialogue 2026, we are now joined on NewsX by William Marks. He's an executive fellow at the Harvard Business School, United States of America. William, thank you for being with us today.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Let me begin by asking you about AI, since that is an expertise area of yours. We also just saw India host the AI Impact Summit, where we had some of the world's best, converge in New Delhi. As far as AI is concerned, which way is it transforming the world, transforming different industries, and how can India work with the US on AI?
Sure. So I think the short answer is we don't actually know exactly how it's transforming each industry, and we're going to see that on a day-by-day basis. The industry is changing literally minute by minute. So I think it's going to ultimately come down to not quite the fears that everyone has that AI will replace all humans, but in fact that it will supplement and provide additional capacity and capability in ways that we probably can't even imagine right now. So, getting back to the India question, I think the US and India have a ton of ability to work well here. It's two nations that are largely aligned on values, that want the same thing and ultimately want the best for their populations and those of the world. And I think AI will be able to deliver a lot of that.
That's an interesting point that you made about AI complementing job creation, not replacing it. And of course, AI also helping create rather than just replace systems. That's something that Prime Minister Modi referred to as well in a couple of the interviews that he gave on the sidelines of the AI summit as well. Also, can AI help in social impact as well? India is a developing nation right now. Can it also, help in social upliftment and, delivery of schemes to those who need it?
Tremendously. We're seeing the potential of billion-dollar companies started by a single individual just using AI tools. If you can do that, then in the hands of everyone in India, you can do incredible things, uplifting entire populations, developing new businesses, new ways to make a living, and being able to deliver services much more efficiently and rapidly to everyone, regardless of where they are.
Now, if you talk about the United States and India, we've always enjoyed a very special partnership. And of course, under President Trump, we're seeing that continue as well. We have finalized the agreements for a trade deal. Of course, there were certain fissures because of the tariff tensions. I think we've left that behind now. How hopeful are you of this partnership, and which do you believe are the areas of convergence between India and the US currently?
I've been coming to India for a very long time, and I can say that I think the relationship has never been stronger, despite all the news, despite all of that. Underlying that are personal relationships, the people actually wanting to work together, and I think we're doing just that. I think AI is going to enable this to happen much more rapidly, efficiently, and be able to deliver tremendous value to people on both sides of the ocean.
Since you also work in the technology space, how do you see India's tech story panning out? We're seeing, of course, a lot of strides forward in technology, a lot of partnerships in tech that we are forging with many countries as well. Also, this startup culture that has really developed in India, entrepreneurial spirit. How do you see the tech space going forward?
I think, India has long been the tech darling of the world, and I actually see that expanding, not contracting, despite the use of AI. As I said, I think it's a very complementary tool, and I think all the tech firms in India are going to find ways to really utilize and capitalize on Indian innovation and ingenuity and combine that with these tools that makes it even better and supportive for businesses globally, but especially for the local entrepreneurial ecosystem here. In fact, I think it's going to turn that on superdrive and actually give it much more juice in a way that we haven't seen, rivaling Silicon Valley and other places.
But AI, also has a flip side, morphed images, fake news, all of that. How do we ensure that we guard against how AI can also possibly be misused?
Sure. So, trust and security are essential here. But I think probably the biggest is digital education and literacy. So finding a way to make sure that each and every person in India and the US and around the globe actually understands what the potential risks are and how this works. And if you can actually understand that, you can find a way to counterbalance it. Education usually trumps all.
Final question to you on the conflict as well in the Middle East. The US and Israel have struck Iran. We're seeing retaliation as well. The conflict is continuing as we speak. There is no end day that we can see or deadline, of the war ending in the next couple of days, although we do hope that it will as soon as possible. But how do you see that impacting global economic outlook as well?
I mean, loss of life is always awful. Obviously, in the Strait of Hormuz, you see 20% of oil supplies. You see this impacting not just energy prices, but everything that depends on energy prices, including, of course, AI and the ability to move chemicals around. So, I think the disruption is just starting. Hopefully it will not be too disruptive, but at the end of the day, I think it will largely depend on the length of the conflict.
Thank you very much, William, for joining us. And we, of course, do hope that you enjoy the rest of your time in India.
Thanks so much.
Journalist Dinesh Thakur, Uday Pratap Singh in Delhi, NewsX.